Hey, how's it going, YouTube? It's your boy playing Kha'zix instead of Kane, and now I'm actually going to be doing something that I'm actually really surprised there hasn't been any videos or like anybody really showing this build and playstyle for Kha'zix. It's something probably completely different to what you're used to, because anytime I actually do this build or playstyle, people always ask me about it. By the way, they're invading level 1. Ooh, nice try. Yeah, this guy's no flash early on. It's actually going to benefit me more than him. Blitzcrank needs his flash early on. You'll see what I mean soon, but either way, I'm going to be showing you guys something actually really OP and probably one of the strongest junglers in the game right now, period. I think Kha'zix is actually S tier, so it's your opinion who you think is the best jungler right now, personally. In high elo, low elo, whatever you think, but I'm telling you, as a challenger jungler, I play pretty consistently and I notice which champions get played often and which champions seem to excel most specific areas, and this is one. And even in challenger, I notice people don't tend to build as similar as I do. So essentially what we're going to be going for is a Bruiser Kha'zix build. You get Black Cleaver after your Jung item and you evolve W second. Now if you're snowballing, you could actually go Dustblade and you can get your E evolve second. You kind of have to analyze their comp and see, okay, are they squishy enough for me to get resets, or am I going to need what I call a team fight build, which is the Black Cleaver and W evolve. So I've actually invented this new pathing that not a lot of people do. It's very, very unique, and the payout's really good, but it can go really bad really easily. But since I know this guy has no flash, I'll be trying to make a really nice play here. So it does seem like I can fight something over here. I have a feeling Rengar is going to come over here, or over somewhere near me. Yeah. So, I already got first blood, which is good. Essentially, like a lot of people, they get Talesman and they just farm early on. Kha'zix is a really weak jungler until you get your E. So a lot of people, they'll just get their W and farm until they get their E. But with me, I like to be on the map as soon as possible, because Kha'zix has so much isolation damage that you kind of want to be on the map as early as possible. So I'm going to try and do something where I collect both scuttles here actually, so I'm going to be looking to gank for my decent mid, which is kind of weird. I'm going to be looking to gank for this guy right now. Okay, so didn't need to do a whole lot there to get that done. It looks like Rengar is probably going to be over there because Irelia is roaming down. You just got to kind of be aware of the map scenario. It's good for me to be on this side of the map because after he were to take scuttle, he would know that my Raptors is up because of my CS count. That's why a lot of junglers spam tab to look at CS counts, so I know that he's around the top side of the jungle, which is actually very beneficial for me. Their mid has no flash, which is also very beneficial. Remember when I said it's good for me and not for Blitz to have flash? Alright, both of us having flash is better for me in the outcome. Yeah, what happened bots, exactly why. Jung flash isn't as necessary. Unless you get caught out in the Jung, but so this guy, I was gonna say he might die, but Rengar would show because he has good vision. So normally, if you can't get a good base, you kind of want to get whatever this is. Oh yeah, I knew Rengar would be up there. I think he gets solo though, so it doesn't really matter if Rengar shows. Yeah, that didn't really impact much. He just got free XP. He didn't get a killer assist though, which is actually really good because I believe you get stacks your passive on Rengar if you get assist right. I don't know, I actually don't really play Rengar. That's one of the few junglers I actually don't know how to play or don't play. I do watch my friend Scrub Noob a lot, so maybe I should pay more attention. Either way, we're gonna look for another play bot, because obviously if my flash is down, a good way of timing flashes is knowing if my flash is down, that means so is Blitzcrank's. Playing a little too backed off here, kind of bad for us. I'll just clear the ward, then I'll leave. We'll go farm Gromp. I kind of need to like path upwards over there to help my team. I'm just gonna clear that. I thought he'd be too scared to clear it. Our bot line's kind of just freezing and playing really safe, so they're allowed to do whatever. Main power spikes you want to look towards is your evolves on Kha'zix, by the way. No matter what playstyle you're going for, your evolves is always your strongest like thing you want to play off of. I was just here just in case. Didn't take a single CS, I was just hoping shove. Yeah, we're just gonna check if this is up. Could be. Alright. Rengar is really 6 until he's 6. Or wait, did I say weak or strong? I don't know. But he's really weak until he's 6, and then once I get my evolve, I'm pretty sure I can actually beat him if I build properly. Rengar actually normally outscales Kha'Zix because Rengar is actually a huge counter to assassins because of his W. So if you actually build like a Bruiser and you get Red Smite, which I intend to do, then there's nothing really a Rengar could do. So normally a lot of people actually lose this matchup, but I think if you play it really smart, Kha'Zix wins at all stages of the matchup. It's something very interesting because anybody I've asked, they always say that, oh, Rengar hard wins it, you know, but I really don't think so. Kha'Zix is actually one of my most played junglers because when I originally made jungle, I was a Kha'Zix man since season 6, and then Graves, Kindred, a lot of other champs, and eventually Kane came out and very lucky. Yeah, interesting. Just hopped around a bunch. Rengar has the ability to solo dragon if he wanted to because he has bot priority. And I'm not 6 yet, but he does it pretty slow. So if he were to do it, I'd actually be ahead of him in XP, and I could actually use that to my advantage. I don't think soloing dragon's really worth it unless you're a really good champ for soloing it. Or all your lanes are winning pretty hard, so I wouldn't imagine him to be bot side, I'd imagine him to be around top scuttle. And obviously all of his lanes have priority, so if there were to be a fight, I'd get rotated on first. So I'm just gonna like keep farming until I get 6, and understanding my own power spikes will lead me to be able to go more freely on the map. So I always tell people the best way to improve is through a lot of experience, because the more you play, the more you understand matchups and your power spikes and your damage output and when to do what and how to do it. So now we have our W evolve. As I mentioned, we're going to be going this and that. And I don't... See, here's the thing. Kha'Zix is actually insanely good for soloing objectives with your Q evolve. So, wait, did I say W evolve earlier? Sorry, my brain's so scattered right now. But either way, Kha'Zix is actually insanely good for soloing objectives, which is actually one of his main power spikes. He's like an all-around, like, really, really good jungler, because he can do pretty much everything you want and need. The only thing he really lacks in is team fighting, but with the build I'm going to show you, it's going to be a really good team fighting build. Unless, you know, I have to go assassin mode, so we'll see. I'm just going to look for a gank here first, of course. Okay. That was actually really unlucky. Very weird that he was just waiting in that bush. I can't really do anything about that if he's on it. I can honestly say I was not expecting that. A lot of people don't really know how to utilize this Kha'Zix's passive as well. They'll lead in with like their R, even like challenger players, but you always want to lead in with like you just walking in, and then you want to save your E and your R as like gap closers. Yeah, see, you soloed it. There's not really much I could do about that, like I mentioned. Huh. Huh. Well, that's 5 mid. Honestly, can't say I was expecting that one. Yeah, that's kind of the issue if the air team has more priority on the map. But the thing is that just because you're losing early game and your team's losing early game doesn't really mean that the game's over. It's kind of like tragic. Like, sure, if the enemy team's really smart, they could snowball and just carry the game. Like, let's say this was an LCS game and they had this huge of a lead. Yeah, most of the time they would just know what to do and they would end the game out. Any other comp, of course, but, you know, this is solo queue. Mistakes are bound to happen. Or macro decisions. I mean, it's kind of sad that their bot lane rotated that long and had this much prio and then you go back bot and get a kill. It sucks, but the game's a really long game, so you gotta look at it throughout the entire match and then gotta go from there. Rengar could be down here and like counter me again, I gotta be careful. See, now this time I would lead in with my R because I want to get close to her to be able to do this. I hope she doesn't take this. Thank you. And that's a free kill. She actually should have known she was going to die there. So I should walk with me over here. Oh yeah, I don't have an R. It's kind of risky for me to be here alone. I want to stay away from bushes. Like that bush over there, I wait for the scuttle to come to me so I can take this. And I kind of wait till my Sona's near. I can rotate to help this guy if they want to overstay. But I mean, since they were just around here and they took the objective, you should obviously think, okay, it's going to be warded. Even if it's not, even if you don't see a control ward, even though we did, you should always assume that, like, okay, they were just around this area, they're going to, like, leave wards behind, of course. So, that's why you don't just run in blindly into the enemy team there. Chicken with your head cut off. Yeah. This camp should be still down. I'll go farm my, whatchamacallit, and then I'll move onward. I kinda wanna go check this rift, actually. Waiting kind of to see where Rengar shows. Because I wanna either counter a gank that he does, or just try something. You have a lot of vision, actually. With R, I know I could step up kind of aggressively, like what I'm doing right now. So let's do that. As I mentioned, Kha'Zix is really good for this. This is kind of risky because I don't know if they know where I am. And if they use like common sense, they'll be able to piece together where I am because I showed on a ward around here. So they either assume I'm trying to gank, which Rengar looks to be trying to counter gank, or they assume I'm on the rift. So once they don't see me mid here because they're ganking and I'm not countering, damn. He messed up his flash. If he got his flash off, she would have been feared out of the vision and I just one-shot her with my QW. Kind of unlucky. Okay, well, if you look at their team, oh, they're not gonna... Oh, the outplay? Okay, wow, okay. Well, if you look at their team, this is exactly what I wanted, by the way. Akali's too much for Bruiser, so I can't really one-shot her and get a reset. Irelia, she has her, is it her W? Which is like a damage reduction. So there's not really any chance to one-shot her. She's actually really good against like assassins, by the way. And then Rengar obviously has his W. So the only one I could really get a reset off of properly is MF. You need to actually be able to one-shot them. So we're actually going to be going for the build I was talking about, the Bruiser teamfight carry build, which I think carries a lot harder games. So if you're curious for the build, it's kind of similar to Kayn. It's actually very similar to Kayn, just without the defensive items. So Black Cleaver, if they have a lot of healing, which they do, Akali, Irelia, Rengar, then you get Executioner after. So Black Cleaver, Executioner, and instead of a Visage, you would get a Hex Drinker or Maw. So after that, I'll get a Hex Drinker. I don't need a Maw. Yeah, I'll get a GA. So I'm gonna sit on all of those items, and then I'll finish whichever one I need. Like if I need more damage, I'll get Mortal Reminder first, and then Maw, or Maw and then Mortal Reminder. Gonna see. Okay. Nice. Okay. Now we can use Rift. See, I'm a lot tankier and I do a lot of damage. If you know how to use your isolation damage well, and I'm pretty tanky, so with Red Smite and all that. By the way, Sona's looking out for me in the jungle to see which games I could take, so it's actually really good for me. And obviously after this red, I don't want to overstay in the jungle. Rengar's spawning, so I don't want to like try and take his other camp, so I'm just gonna take the Ocean, which is the right call. So we got mid tower, couple kills, red buff, and Ocean. So it's just like perfectly calculating like all the things we get. If you overstay, that's when you kind of throw your lead. Like right now we have a lead and we need to keep that lead up. We need to keep getting more and more from the lead. So I want to keep farming, get an item, power spike, team fight again with that power spike, just keep snowballing. That's how you snowball essentially. See what a lot of players in lower elos will do, they'll stick around, they'll try and take more, they'll greed it out. But you need to take what you can while you're ahead and move on with it and then use it, you know, properly. Oh, that guy's fighting? I was actually not expecting this. Yeah, I need that for movement speed. Should be dead. Oh, she lived with like this sliver HP. Really? Oh, Dravenar. I thought she was dead. I didn't know who else was with Rengar. I was kind of scared of Akali, to be honest. I should have tried to auto her one more time. It's my bad, actually. Kind of as a warning sign. Don't mess with me. I don't think it's FFable. Need this camp. So once I get the items I mentioned, Black Cleaver and Executioner, it's huge power spike. Once you're 11th, right now I'm insanely huge. So if we fight with me, I can carry like any fight. Which is completely like what people think is the opposite of Kha'Zix. Like everyone always asks me, how do you team fight with Kha'Zix? Because they build a full assassin and there's not really a good entry for Kha'Zix unless you can one-shot like somebody straight up without isolation damage. So if you're struggling with that, this is actually probably one of the easiest builds, one of the more fun, and actually, in my opinion, the strongest Kha'Zix build. I use this build more often than not, more than any other build, and I play a lot of Kha'Zix. Now, a lot of like seasons Kha'Zix players will say like you should always go full assassin, but I don't really agree with that. And by a lot of, I mean Demir, but I'm friends with Demir. He just says that because he thinks I'm beta male for playing his champion like a kind of bruiser-ish, tank-ish. I understand it, to be honest. I like playing Red Cane like full damage most times, like Death Stance, etc., etc. I get it, but I think, like, especially for like a lot of players lower ranks, this is really, really strong and easy. Okay. Game appears to be toxic. If you're curious what to do when your team's flaming and being toxic, pretty much the best thing you can do is just not type. Like, I don't get tilted. I've been playing this game for way too long, so I don't get tilted when people flame. I just like kind of ignore it. Like, whatever. The only thing that sucks is that when people are typing, they're tilted and they're not going to be playing as good. So it's like kind of like playing with a handicap when your team's just non-stop typing. You can't, like, a lot of people think like, oh, just ask them not to. It's like, no, it's not going to work. If you type anything, it's going to just make it worse. I promise. It's like I'm a psych major playing in HIGH-ELO solo queue. But yeah, if you get tilted easy, just mute all. Like, you don't need to communicate with your team even as a jung most of the time. I mean, people don't really give you the info that you want anyway. Like, let's say you want some timers or like what you should do, they're just gonna be like up there, up themselves and toxic. Okay, so at this point I want to analyze like their AP damage to see if it's worth getting a Hex Drinker or a GA here. Their AP damage is 1 and 2 and not really a threat at all, so I'm just gonna go for the GA. Or I can go Duskblade. Duskblade, GA, or Last Whisper at this point. If I'm really snowballing and I'm hard winning fights, you know, I want Duskblade or, you know, Last Whisper. You know, if they're tanky, Last Whisper, of course. If they're squishy, or Duskblade. But I actually have a really huge bounty on my head, and they have a really snowballing team. Like, if they were to get my bounty, it would just be like a death sentence for the game. So ideally, I'm probably just gonna get a GA and be smarter and safer. Okay, that's far, but you could probably fight here. Just abuse my W. Champion so fast. We should take Baron. We do it really easy with Kha'Zix. Mountain or no Mountain, we do it really easy with Kha'Zix. And if they try and come, I'm just gonna hit them with my W. The W is actually one of the most OP things in the game by far. MF has no R. I can zone Irelia. Blitzcrank's a non-factor. Just don't eat his hook and we're good. So watch. I'm gonna save my W in case Irelia comes. Wait, Irelia's bot. Okay, yeah, we're good. I'll just use my W then. I want a base on a BF sword here, so it should be free. Alrighty. Now we want to take Cloud. I want to sell my... You usually want to sell your pots like mid-game, like 50 minutes for your control wards, sit in your base, or sit in your inventory. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, Cloud Drake. You don't want to get picked off. This is... If you ever wonder what to do if the enemy team got Baron and they're about to siege, you want to look for a pick always. Because that's how you... That's pretty much how the game's like gets won or lost, you know? Yeah. Yeah. There's not really much you could do when you waste all their abilities. Yeah, look how much damage I do, and it's like really hard for them to kill me. And I have like, I'm a very big utility with the Executioner and Black Cleaver. It amplifies my team's damage, and it's such a low CD time because of my CDR, which is 40%. It's actually just insane. I mean, I'm not 40% in my items because, you know, 10, 20, 30. But normally once you get Maw, yeah, you are. But I have a blue buff, which I normally tend to take as the jungler. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but on pretty much any jungler I play, I usually like to play off my blue buffs. Like, getting it, like, early mid-game to, like, carry team fights. Unless I have, like, Bjergsen as my mid laner, I'm probably not going to give the blue. So I want to win this push. Yeah, so look, I one-shot him, and if he were to jump on me, he wouldn't do any damage. It's honest to God, like, if you guys really want, like, a... If you want a really good Kha'Zix build, playstyle, etc., this is it. Like, if you ever wanted to... I think Kha'Zix is the most broken jungler in the game right now. Maybe not the most, but, like, S tier by far, definitely. Like, look at this game, team tilting, decent mid, which is kind of troll, but you can still carry so hard. Like, I'm not saying I did all the work, I'm just saying, like, you know, obviously I have a lot of impact through my pathing, my macro, and micro, so. I'm not trying to sound too arrogant, though. I'm just saying, you know, if you want to get free elo, I think Kha'Zix is perfect champion. And he's been strong. You want to know how strong he's been? Kha'Zix has been a strong meta pick since Season 6. It's Season 9, boys. 3 years. He does, like, any of the nerfs he's gotten has not even been, like, that impactful. I think if you are a jungle main and you want to be, like, a good jungler and you want a very strong champion for your champ pool or a champ to one-trick, Kha'Zix is the best champion. Because I rarely see him banned, and, you know, I don't know. I think all around he's just a really good jung. The only weaknesses he has is, like, getting through your early game, which is, it isn't really that hard because your isolation damage. So... If you know how to use this kit fully, I'm pretty sure you guys will just love this champion. If you guys enjoy this video, by the way, I'll upload more Kha'Zix videos because there's different ways of playing him. There's like the full damage one shot, and then there's like the W evolve level 6. There's like a bunch of different things you could do. There's even like an R evolve with phase rush type playstyle. Kind of weird. I don't really like that one. I think it's kind of like cheesy. It's fun, but it's like cheesy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they use a lot to get onto me there and, like, kill me. Like, they don't realize I have, like, GA, and I'm, like, my team is, like, strong enough at this stage of the game because of all they've been given, like, through the fights and the barons and the objectives and everything. They've been given a lot of gold, so if they use everything on me and all they get is my GA, it's not really worth it. It was a nice try by the enemy team, but either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. you know, if you're looking for more champs to play just besides Kane, I think Kha'Zix is your perfect option. So either way, boys, girls, drop a like and a sub if you appreciated it. Peace out.